Hey, pussy, are you still there?
I actually admire that you can actually be this fake, and like when the TV comes on, how you can just change. You're the scum of the earth.
The audacity means I couldn't do it. The odds that I couldn't do it. Look at me now. Level there. Pound for pound. Headshot dead. That's it.
There's guys out there that are doing this day in and day out. They live and breathe this stuff that they don't get the recognition or credit that they deserve.
Is the secret to fighting?
Not being a fucking pussy. Honestly, you can teach anybody how to fight. But like, if you're a fucking pussy, that's a really hard thing to teach someone not to be.
Welcome back, folks. This is part 2 to the UFC 297 recap. Murky, I guess we're going to have to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it because, God, this is horrible, but women's MMA, brother.
We're here. I've been saying it, man. I've been saying it, and I was fucking saying it all over Twitter last night too. Like, this is a title fight in fucking women's MMA, bro. Like, this is really where we're at. Like, this is the best of the best. This is the highest level of women's MMA.
Yeah,
like,
it's kind of sad, man.
Oh, it's so sad.
I'm not sure if you. Well, for one, I think we all said this last night. Juliana Pena beats both of them badly.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's why in part 1, in the beginning of the first part, the first episode 52, part 1, I was saying it's an interim belt. Like, this is a fucking interim belt, right? You had Raquel Pennington, Mayra Bueno Silva. We both,
absolutely disappointed everybody.
Yeah, I think she had a lot of money on her, dude. Maybe she hedged herself, put money on Raquel.
Come on, bro. Like, I expected her to dominate that fight.
Yeah, they both stink. Raquel is awful. I mean, she's absolutely fucking awful. Like, if you, man, it's so crazy to me.
I actually believed Nick last night when he said he could beat both of them.
Yeah, it's possible. You look back, she fought once in 2023, decision. She fought once in 2022, decision. She fought twice in 2021, decision. Twice in 2020, decision. She fought once in 2019, decision. She fought, look at that. She fought twice in 2018, lost a decision and got KO'd by Amanda Nunes. Didn't fight in 2017 at all. Fought in 2016 3 times. Went 3-0. Guess what they all were?
Decisions.
Fucking decision.
Oh,
like, brother,
man.
Listen, man. Dude, Raquel Pennington is the most boring fighter the UFC has on the roster. I would rather watch Yoel Romero and Izzy 10 times than have to watch that fucking fight again. That shit made me so mad. I spent $80 on a fucking pay-per-view that gave me that for a co-main event. I mean, just absolutely terrible, dude. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. I can't stand it. Raquel, it's a shame that she's a fucking champion in the UFC. That
won't last long, dude. That belt will not be in her possession within the next 6 months.
Yeah, she gives women's MMA a fucking bad name. They both did. I really felt confidently in Silva. I know we had Silva multiple times on some parlays by submission, and she just couldn't get it done. Silva has no gas tank. That's the other thing we learned last night.
No, 5-round fight. You found out real quick.
Yeah, no gas tank, brother. And Raquel, whatever, dude. Get fucked.
Yeah, get fucked. Did you see the interview with Amanda Nunes though?
No.
She hinted at potentially coming back. She was basically saying like, that was embarrassing. Yeah, I'm still fresh. I'm a fighter. I might just come back and get my belt back. She would come back and be the champ again easily.
Yeah. Do you think she comes back? So they got it. I mean, do you think she comes back and gets it first before Juliana?
That'd be hilarious. Well, yeah, she definitely would. She relinquished the belt, so she definitely would probably get the first title shot.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't he be like, yeah, sure, please save us?
Yeah.
Because this is horrible.
Listen, man, the next fight was incredible comeback. I want to get to that. I don't want to spend any more time than we fucking possibly have to talking about Raquel Pennington, Bueno Silva anymore. It was disgusting. It was despicable. The UFC should be ashamed of themselves. Women MMA just got a fucking bad name last night. It was terrible.
Well, I can say this at least. I'll go ahead and make the announcement before we go on to this next one. Okay. So our first merch drop, I know we've seen a lot of like, you got Sean Strickland saying like, has his like make whatever great again shirts, and Nina has make MMA media great again. I think we're gonna have our first line that's gonna be make women's MMA great again.
I love it. Just a picture of Amanda Nunes on the back or something.
And just make women's MMA great again, and bring us back to the Holly Holmes, Ronda Rousey, Miesha Tate, Amanda Nunes, Cyborg. Cyborg comes in there and beats that whole division single-handedly with a hand behind her back.
Yeah, especially with Nunes retired.
Yeah.
So without a doubt, I mean that was so bad. I don't know how we got from the pioneers of women MMA that helped build this thing for these fights to be able to have a co-main event and for there to even be a bantamweight division at all, like the Ronda Rouseys. How do we go from that to fucking what we just witnessed? Like we went
through that because Amanda Nunes ran everybody off.
Yeah, well, it's true, right? Yeah, you have somebody so dominant like that for so long, and now we're stuck with this.
Crazy, bro.
It's just disgusting.
Anyways, all right, let's get away. MMA, fucking make women's MMA great again, please.
Make women's MMA great again, please God. Yep.
All right, on to the next.
Yep.
Mike Malott versus Neil Magny, the veteran himself. When everyone counts you out, you find a fucking way. And guess what? He found a fucking way. Mike Malott, brother, I'm sorry. I had a bet with you, so I'm going to give you shit right now. Fuck you, first of all, for losing our bet. Secondly, dude, what the fuck were you thinking? You were winning the fight, and then you just let it go.
Yeah, he got mounted, and that was it. He couldn't get off. He couldn't do anything from his back. That's an inexperienced fighter right there that's never been in a position like that, and he didn't know how to act.
He had no idea. You saw it. He froze up. He didn't know what to do.
Yeah, he looked like a fish out of water. As soon as Magny got on top of him, you could tell he'd never been there before. Yep. And he looked like he didn't know what to do.
Yes, he did.
Props to the wily veteran, Neil Magny. Dude, what a comeback, man.
That was legend.
That was such a crazy good comeback. People were talking shit before that fight because when they were showing all the Neil Magny's clips last night, none of them were in Venom gear. They were all in like the old Reebok shit. Yeah, so it's like, damn, Neil Magny has fucking no clips from, whatever. But yeah, shout out to him, dude, because he needed that bounce back win after getting absolutely fucking starched by Cucky and Gary. So, awesome. That was fucking absolutely awesome.
Mad respect to Neil Magny for finishing it on top, getting the win. He's the gatekeeper of that division for a reason, brother, and he's been that way for a long time, dude. He's been the gatekeeper of that division for a very long time, and he just showed you why last night, because he put a halt to a up-and-comer in the division. I mean, Mike Malott was one win away from cracking the top 15, and then he met the gatekeeper, and he lost. Yeah. So now he just got pushed back, ultimately, 5 more spots, Yeah,
and then you have to think, too, like, Mike Malott was, I think, the biggest favorite on last night's card.
Minus 440, I believe.
Yeah, something like that. He was the biggest favorite on last night's card. So that's the other thing, man. Like, the bets last night were just atrocious.
Oh, dude, I've never done so bad in my life. It was horrible.
Yeah. Myra Buena Silva, a lot of people had money on her. Mike Malott, a lot of people had money on him.
The only bet that I hit last night that won? Chris Curtis money line. If that doesn't tell you how shitty of a night I had last night, I don't know what does, dude. I'm starting the year off 1-4 on my money line picks, and that's rough.
Yeah, that is rough. That was not good. Last night the fights were all over the place. The bets were fucking atrocious. It was just a really weird night, really weird pay-per-view.
It was
to watch. I mean, Chris Curtis, we can move to that one now. Chris Curtis, Marc-Andre Barriault. I mean,
boring.
They turned it up. Yeah, they turned it up in the end, but they were competing for fucking snooze fest of the night with the co-main event for sure.
Yeah.
But shout out to Chris Curtis because I definitely believe he did enough to win that. It felt like Marc-Andre Barriault, who's normally this guy that brings the fight to you and is constantly in your face.
He reserved.
Was very reserved and laid back last night. I'm not sure why, man. Maybe nerves got the better of him there.
I mean, in respect to Chris Curtis, too, for knowing that going into the fight, because he made it apparent, and he said it before he even went out there. He said he's going to either fight one or two ways. He's going to fight this way or he's going to fight that way. And when he got asked about it at the end when he won, he said, look, I told you it was going to go either one or two ways, and we knew exactly what we were preparing for. We knew exactly what we got ourselves into, and then that's what happened. That was the outcome. So, I mean, props to him for just understanding that and going in there with that kind of mindset. So
yep, and he did what he had to do to get a win. But that was atrocious. I think really the next one was this the first fight? Was first fight on the main event? Arnold Allen and Movsar Evloev. That was tough to watch too, man. I mean, like undefeated 18-0. Evloev is definitely a fucking problem. And I think what a lot of people realized last night is his striking is a lot better than we thought it was. Right? His wrestling, he was known to be dominant with his wrestling. But we watched Arnold Allen stand and bang with fucking the likes of Max Holloway, and we assumed that Arnold Allen would win the battle, the striking battle on the feet, and it didn't really go that way.
He didn't look like the Arnold Allen though that fought Max Holloway.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're fighting against somebody, he also hasn't fought a wrestler his last couple fights. So when you're fighting a guy that you're constantly, having to worry about that takedown, especially when he gets them so effectively, it changes the way that you fight. And his coaching in the corner brought up leaving his right hand down, to defend the takedown, but given that Evloev is a lot better striker than most people thought, that really opened up for a lot of shots to Arnold Allen's face that Evloev was delivering on with him having his hand down. So props to Evloev, man. I think he'll be a problem in the featherweight division. We're going to have to see. He's starting to get up there now. So you beat Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen was kind of kept out of that elite company in the featherweight division by losing to Max. So now Evloev is kind of in his place, right? So where does he go from here? And you start getting in with the likes of the Max Holloways and the Yair Rodriguez and those types of guys, and how does that style mix in with them, and can he really mix it up and dominate in the top 5 of a super competitive division in the UFC the way that he's done so far in his career? I mean, 18-0 is impressive. But I'll say this, I mean,
it's a Khabib record,
Yeah, we've seen it before. The Russians tend to pad these records a little bit with some fucking absolute snails that they fight early on in their career.
Found fucking Jimbo on the side of a Russian street and asked him to come fight for a sanctioned pro fight. Never even put gloves on before. Fought one time, retired. 0-7-1, retired. Just fighting absolute slugs. So it'd be interesting to see now. I mean, but he's definitely legit. There's no doubt about it. He's 1000% legit, especially after watching him last night. The only key talking point, besides the outcome and what happens after this, the other key talking point that I can think of on this fight is the knees to the grounded opponent. Yeah, I was going to say something about that too, because I saw it both ways. I'm glad they didn't take a point away. I'm glad but then again, I don't know. I mean, I don't know the rule that well. I mean, I know he had his hand down, but he was lifting him when he was kneeing him, which was taking his hand off the ground. So I mean, I don't really know I can't really speak much on it because I don't know how the judges see it, or not how the judge, but the ref, how they point it or however that shit works. I just know that if they have their hand down and you knee them, then it's an illegal strike. But he was lifting him off the ground with his hand down and lifting him up where his hand was off the ground and kneeing him while he was down.
Okay, so all right, so you ready for this?
Yep.
And this is what makes that a bad stoppage of the fight.
Okay, let me hear it.
So this is from the official unified rules of MMA. Okay. A grounded fighter is defined as any part of the body other than a single hand and soles of the feet touching the fighting area floor. To be grounded, both hands, palm or fist down, and or any other body part must be touching the fighting floor.
Yeah, so it was legal.
So those were 1,000,000% legal knees.
So he got jugged.
He got fucking he got fucked, buddy. Because
that's bullshit.
That would have been a huge turning point. He beating him up with those knees. You could tell they were seriously affecting him. The referee, I think it was Mark Goddard in that fight, took a stoppage, allowed him to kind of gather himself. I have it right here in front of me, man. Like, this is 1,000% a legitimate source for the rules. And those were legal knees.
See,
those
man,
were
these MMA motherfuckers, these refs and people got to get their shit together, bro. You can't have something like that happen, and then you look back on Petr Yan and Aljamain Sterling, then you look back on shit like that where it's like...
Well, hold on a second. So the difference is Petr Yan and Aljamain Sterling, Aljamain was on his knees.
I get that. I get it.
Okay, so
I understand completely. But...
Okay.
I'm gonna make this an example out of it, okay? So he stopped it. Why did he stop the fight last night? Because he deemed it a legal knee, right?
Illegal. He deemed it illegal. That he was a grounded opponent.
Okay.
He also made a
comment, right? If you look at a lot of things in life, say if I fucking I don't really know how to explain this without getting all fucking spiritual and shit, but like if you look at a sin is a sin is a sin. If you do one thing and one thing, it's equally comparable. So it's like if Aljamain Sterling gets kneed in the face and deemed a grounded opponent and Petr Yan gets disqualified, then why do you stop this fight and deem an illegal knee, but let them continue fighting and say, here's a hard warning? Like, so we need to be more uniformed into this shit, man.
Well, and that's what I was gonna say. The referee made a comment in the Octagon to Arnold Allen last night, where he said verbatim, "I know they were accidental," and I remember thinking last night, like, what the fuck was accidental about that? He hit him 4 times. There's nothing about those knees that were accidental. It's like, either way, it doesn't matter. So like, if the rule is essentially in that situation, in that position, Evolov would have had to have 2 hands on the ground, right?
Sure.
Or a knee or something, but palms of his feet down and 1 hand does not constitute somebody as a grounded opponent. That was clear to see. So why was the fight stopped?
So let me ask you this: Evolov goes back to his corner, says, "I'm Johnny Walker right now. I don't know what's going on." Okay, what the fuck happens? No contest, disqualification. What do we do in this now? What do you do in that situation?
Well, that is the Aljo treatment, right? So that's what happened with Aljo, and they ended up disqualifying Petr Yan.
Exactly.
If Aljo could have continued, they would have kept fighting, and it wouldn't have been a disqualification. Because Aljo couldn't continue, it became a disqualification, and he won the belt.
With the Ankalaev Magomed, or the Ankalaev Johnny Walker, it was no contest.
Right. I agree. I mean, these things seem to be all over the place. They don't make sense. It could be, it seems to be that the referee has a ton of discretion on like what they want to deem and what they want to do. But it doesn't really make sense when you start to look at all of these different events that happen, grounded opponents and such things. They don't line up and they don't make sense. You're 1,000% right about that. And I agree. A rule is a rule. If the rule is anything more than one hand and palms of feet, then he was never grounded. Why was it stopped in the first place?
Yeah.
Why
you just took all the momentum away from him to win, you know? Same thing in like football when you throw a fucking stupid flag while they're driving to win the game. Like something so stupid, you know?
Yeah, I mean the end result, and this is what, you know, you could tie this into the main event on the card also. Like ultimately you don't want to leave it up to the judges. That was Arnold Allen's opportunity to finish the fight for sure. So it's almost like the Minnesota Vikings Saints game from a few years ago in the playoffs where was it a no call on the pass interference or something?
Yeah, and Diggs he caught the touchdown and ran it in?
Something like that. But so like, you know, I think that was really unfortunate to see, but it just doesn't make sense. We have to do better. And like, honestly, I saw a few things on Twitter about it last night, but I haven't seen much about this today, following UFC 297. We as fans need to demand like shit like this gets better and gets fixed.
Sure.
This is not okay. Like if that's the rule, how does the referee not know that's the rule? Or if he knows it's the rule, he can't make mistakes like that.
Sure.
Like I understand people are fallible, they make mistakes, but it was very clear to see. Only one hand was down. So if he's then not constituted as a downed opponent, do not, like, you know he's not down. You know he needs two hands. Like there's just a lot of things there. The other thing, though, I guess, if you want to play devil's advocate, is if Arnold Allen has his other arm wrapped up and he can't put a hand down, how do you deem him as a downed opponent? You know what I mean? Like, I guess that's where it starts to get.
We just give them both swords and let them fight to the fucking death. Like, come on, man. What are we doing, dude? Like, let these guys fucking brawl. Like, we got to figure out some sort of, like, ruling, bro. Like, decision fights are great and all, but, like, I almost feel like old school way of UFC was kind of better, like the OG way, where they did, like, 10-minute rounds and fucking, like, 3 10-minute rounds or some crazy shit to where it's, like, eventually there's gonna be a clear winner. Like,
right,
no matter what, you can't fight for fucking an hour. You're gonna end up somebody's going to quit eventually. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So but allowing fights like boring ass fucking fights to go 15 minutes, 20 minutes, like, fuck that. Nobody wins. How about that?
Right.
If you give us a boring fight, neither one of y'all get a fucking on your scorecard.
Just start giving them a draw.
Yeah, draw every fight. This fight sucked, draw. Be more active. It's fucking mixed martial arts. It's fucking the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship, not the ultimate fucking bore everybody who spent $80 to watch you guys fight fucking championship. Like, let's be real here, man. I'm sick and tired of boring ass fights. And I'm tired of people saying, like, oh, well, it's technical. It's like, motherfucker, these are professional fighters. If they can't figure out a way to beat each other's ass after 15 fucking minutes, they are not professional fighters.
Right.
They're boring as shit.
Right.
Like, what we saw in the main event, that's professional fighting.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to... Now, if you're active the whole... Like, don't get me wrong. The Raquel Pennington-Silva fight, yeah, it was garbage, but it wasn't boring. They fought 25 minutes. They beat each other up in the best women fashion that they could. But there are plenty of fights out there that just... If you're taking 2 rounds to figure out your opponent, like, get the fuck out of here, man. I'm tired of that, dude. I'm tired of it.
I agree.
They need to figure something out, bro. If you put on a boring performance, no more pay-per-views for you ever. Ever again. Like, you're going straight to the fucking prelims. You're going to be a prelim shoddy until you figure it out.
Yeah, I love that.
So
Ban to the prelims. Imagine having the next UFC women's bantamweight title fight on the fucking prelims.
ban to the prelims, dude. Like, come
That's
on,
how it
man.
should be.
You're taking my money and fucking putting it into damn boring ass fights, dude. Nobody wants to see that shit.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. All
Yeah.
right, so we have the prelims now that we're getting into. We don't. I kind of don't. I don't think we need to spend a whole lot of time on these either. Brad Katona, Garrett Armfield. Garrett Armfield wins by decision.
Yep.
Brad Katona
decisions.
Yeah, didn't bring it. Sean Woodson, Charles Jourdain, same thing. Like there was a comment made in the Overs Club Discord earlier in the week about Sean Woodson and the his just attributes, physical attributes. That was a big problem for Charles Jourdain, and you could tell.
Oh yeah, 100%.
The only thing weird about that was the ending, right? Like we played it back because they didn't know who won the fight. Charles Jourdain thought he won. Sean Woodson thought he lost. I think you could hear it clear as day, him say Sean the Sniper Woodson. But what I did notice was the referee went to raise Charles Jourdain's hand.
Yep.
So, again, another referee mistake, which at the end of the day doesn't necessarily matter, but it's just what are we doing? This is the fucking best promotion in the world for mixed martial arts, and it looked like a fucking shit show.
Yeah. I got something in regards to that. And I want to it just kind of brought to my attention. I want to kind of get feedback from this. So if you listen to this clip, I want you to give us your thoughts on if you're seeing the same thing I am. I think Father Time may be catching up to Bruce Buffer. I'm not lying, dude, because if you listened to him last night, there was a few times where he didn't sound fluent. He didn't sound like the normal him. He sounded a little off. He was messing up names. He was stuttering at times. He just didn't sound like the same Bruce Buffer in some of the fights. I don't know. Maybe it was just me. Let me know. Let me know if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Maybe I was a little bit millered out. But I mean, but I thought there were times where Bruce Buffer sounded like it may be catching up to him a little bit.
Jourdain Woodson was not one of those times, but because we played it back, it was super clear. But yeah, I mean that's gonna be a tough time for the UFC, right? When we finally start to lose that intensity and lose that staple of UFC events that we've had forever and ever and ever. That is Bruce Buffer, man. It's going to be difficult, and hopefully they're planning on, something to follow that. Maybe it's time to start kind of looking, because the guy that they have doing the Apex fights isn't it either.
No.
You know what I mean? I guess he does a good enough job. You know what I mean? But it's
have to do something for pay-per-views. What if he hangs it up at 300?
I don't see that happening, but yeah, maybe. I don't think so.
You hang it up at a meaningful card. You don't just hang it up in Canada. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely not hanging up in Canada.
No, not at all.
No, nobody retired. I don't think we had to worry about anybody retiring last night.
No, I don't know either.
That would be the worst place to do it. But yeah, we mentioned this one earlier too, and I think without the crazy weight miss from Ramon Tavares, this could be fight of the night, because that was a fucking battle, bro.
Yeah, both those guys. Dudes, I want to see that fight again, man.
Yeah. I might watch it again today just to wash the disgusting taste out of my mouth that I have for whatever the fuck they called that card.
Yeah.
That was in my opinion, that was really the most competitive. Aside from the main event was obviously super competitive, but everything else, this was, I really feel like the best fight. I mean, Jillian Robertson got a fight of the night bonus. But I mean, she dominated Pollyanna, which is fine, because we're going to get the Pollyanna OnlyFans that we've all really wanted forever anyway.
True.
And the other women's fight that got, Jasmine Judavicius, she got a fight of the night bonus as well, but she dominated, man. She absolutely dominated. So those are I guess I should say performance of the night. And then I think the main event got fight of the night.
Fun fact, that was one of 5, I think. 1 of 5 or 7 10-7 rounds ever in the UFC.
Yeah, I did see. You're talking about Judavicius, right? She had a 10-7. Yeah, and it was deserved. I mean, it was absolutely. She beat the brakes off that girl.
Oh, dude, bad.
Yeah, she beat the living brakes off that girl, bro.
Yeah, she did.
Holy.
So
I'd never seen something so one-sided.
We can't forget, before we wrap up this card, we can't forget about the first fight of the night. Jimmy Flick. I mean, I texted you and said, this dude is dog shit. And then out of nowhere, he fucking flips the switch and gets the win. And I'm like,
I think an arm triangle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Jimmy
was like,
Jimmy Flick's a dog, man. I don't know if he's really, high. I don't know how good he actually is. But like,
I was like, bro, this guy's getting beat bad, bro.
Yeah, he's Oklahoma country, dude. He's got that farmer strength in him.
Yeah.
Motherfucker been eating meat and potatoes 3 meals a day for 30 years, bro.
For sure.
He got that fucking hick strength.
Yes.
He got that red, white, and blue pumping through his veins, son. He wasn't about to let this Canadian come in here and disrespect.
Oh, and speaking of Canadians, boy, man, rough night for the Canadian crowd, bro.
Yeah,
you guys had to terrible. You had to see what being a communist country looks like, because your men can't even fucking fight. There you go. That's what happens. America, baby. We showed you. We dominated you. Everyone, all of the other countries dominated you, brother. Sorry. I mean, that's what happens when you let things go and your men are soft, because you guys lost last night and you lost big time. So
yeah, everywhere. They lost everywhere. Aside from City, because I think City's also Canadian, and Tavares did get the win, but props to City.
Yeah.
City fought like a man and a champion. So props to him. But yeah, everybody else, nah.
And not only did your men lose in fights, but your rappers lost their bets. So apparently all men in Canada suck.
Yeah, well, that's a big issue, because
let's talk about that, actually.
The Drake curse.
The Drake curse.
Yeah, so Drake put $700K Strickland money line.
Bruh.
And just absolutely fucked everybody.
That's
absolutely
so stupid.
Fucked everybody last night.
They shouldn't allow shit like that to be known. I don't know, man. Like, stuff like that should be.
He's one of the most popular musicians in the world. So anytime he does something like that, they always post it. But if last night confirmed anything, it's that the Drake curse is real. So before any fight, if I see Drake put a bet on the fighter I want to win, I'm just not even going to get my hopes up. I'm just going to know it's doomed.
Yeah.
He's done it across multiple sports, multiple levels of sports, between college and professional. And the Drake curse is alive and real. Yeah, brother. He's done it to Kentucky in basketball. He's done it to everyone.
Freaking loser, dude. I'll never listen to Drake again. I hope he's on the bottom list of my Spotify listens this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's super interesting that, the Canadian in Drake went with Sean Strickland, but I think it just goes to show, like, the Canadians and people all over the world fucking love Sean Strickland, man.
Yeah,
he's a fan favorite.
The crowd loved him.
Yeah, that was really interesting too in that main event. The crowd flipped back and forth like a few times.
Yeah,
there was Strickland chants, there was DDP chants, there was fuck Trudeau chants.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was just about to say. Did you hear him saying fuck Trudeau? Like, they don't even like their own. They don't even like their own shit, bro.
Prime Minister, yeah.
Hey, Canada, I'll give you one thing. Neither do we, bro. We got fucking Sleepy Joe up there. We ain't doing too hot ourselves.
That's true. Just hold on, fight back when it's time to fight back, and go along for the ride. But yeah, the other, we've pretty much covered everything. The only fight that we didn't talk about was Sam Patterson and Leonese, I think is how you say that. And Sam Patterson looked fucking good. I mean, I know it's an early prelim fight.
That was the fight I walked away. I had to do something. I think I missed that fight.
Yeah, and he was coming off a round like Sam Patterson's last fight. He got knocked out in the first round.
Sure.
Which was, I believe, his UFC debut. So, I'll give him a lot of credit for, finishing that, because that's a tough guy that he fought, man. And for him to submit him in the first round was awesome. His jiu-jitsu is legit.
Yeah.
He has the same nickname, The Future, as Ian Gary, though, so that's kind of weird. We're gonna have to figure that one out. You can't, that's no good. You know what I mean? That's just bad news. But
Yeah.
Sam Patterson looked fucking
Remember the
awesome.
one chick who came out to the Korean Zombies walkout song?
Yeah, that's the
one
chick
that
that got
beat.
10-7. Yeah.
As you
Well, she
deserve.
deserved that. Yeah. If you come out, that song should be retired as a walkout song. I'm actually upset that they even let her do it, first of all. And then, especially now, you let her come out to Zombie and then just get absolutely starched the way that she did. That song should be retired.
Disrespect.
He was probably watching the pay-per-view at his house last night, pissed.
I agree.
Absolutely sick, which he should be.
No fights next week, right?
No fights next week. We're back. The UFC is back, I believe, February 3rd with Delitse and Imavov.
No,
so
canceled.
Oh, well,
No. I'm sorry. No, that fight's not canceled. What fight got changed? Ivalov and somebody just got changed today, and now Krylov is fighting. You're right. Roman Kopylov is fighting, right?
Yes.
Is that next week?
He's
Anthony
fighting.
Hernandez? Or is that?
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. I did not see. I forget. I did see that. I forget who it was. Was it? It's not the main event, is it?
I don't think so.
No, because I thought he was fighting like Ikram or something.
Ikram Aliskarov?
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Okay, so this is 298. So this is the Volk to Poirier card in February.
Gotcha.
This was the first fight on the main event for UFC 298 in February 17th.
And now it's Anthony Hernandez and Roman Kopylov, right?
Yeah, I guess. So no Ikram.
Nice.
Yeah, well, I mean, it kind of begs the question why, but yeah, I mean, sounds good. Whatever. Yeah. At least we get something. I don't think it's quite as.
I think it is.
Drawing. Yeah, I mean,
Kopylov's good.
Kopylov is. Yeah, he is. Yeah,
he is good, bro.
He's got crazy. He has really good kickboxing.
Yeah,
so
he's good.
Be good. Ikram just is really on the up more than a lot of prospects. I think he's 15-1. He's really coming up. So it's kind of a shame not to see him fill out this card. But UFC 298 still stacked. That's the first fight on the main event, and then you have Merab, Henry Cejudo, Jeff Neely, and Gary, Robert Whitaker, Paulo Costa, and then Volk to Poirier. Yep. So either way, thank God I don't see this being a pay-per-view like we had last night at 297. I think 298, and then 299, and then 300. I think the coast is clear for the rest of the way.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I agree.
Awesome. Yeah, man. So. It looks good. I'm good, man. I ain't got nothing else.
Not me neither. I mean, with not having a card next week, we'll still record Sunday. We'll still have an episode out for Monday, where we'll do our breakdown for the upcoming fight. So we'll still do that. So you guys will get a week's worth of it, and then we'll do lives throughout the week if anything changes or updates, and then. If you are on the live, or if you do support our Instagrams and TikToks and YouTube lives, just to throw this out there, we do now have the opportunity to give gifts or subscriptions or however you want. If you want to support us along our way, that's totally up to you guys. We don't want anyone to feel pressured to doing that. So if you ever just wanted to support us in the long run, anything that we make goes right back into the podcast to help us grow it. Create merch. We're working on a couple of different things to really help boost our shit up for 2024. So we appreciate everyone who comes in, shows love already. I mean, we've had an insane last month, 30 days. I mean, from everything just growing. I mean, we're about to hit 300 followers on YouTube. 30 days ago, we had 30 followers on YouTube. and we're about to hit 300. You know, and then TikTok, we 30 days ago we had 120 followers. Now we're at 1,248. That's because mainly we hit Indian algorithms, but I mean that's besides the point. But here we are. We're able to go live for you guys now. Last week we got our first star donation or whatever this TikTok coin credit balance is. I don't know what it is, but hell, we got our first one. That made us super happy. Instagram, one of our videos just hit 2 million views last night, which is just insane for someone who doesn't even have 1,000 followers yet on Instagram, and to have a video hit 2 million views is just incredible.
That video went viral on Instagram. It has 2 million views. When it went viral on Instagram, we had like 100 followers on Instagram as well. Like just absolutely nothing. There was really like not much popping off on any of the socials. And now they've all, in the last month and a half, 2 months maybe, they've all just fucking skyrocketed. So we got to keep that shit going in 2024. Don't feel pressured, obviously, to donate or do anything, but do feel pressured. 1,000% feel pressured to subscribe to the YouTube, like the videos. That shit's for fun and for free. It costs you absolutely nothing to support a couple fucking idiots that, you know, have full-time jobs and families and stuff like this that are trying to do this stuff and have fun doing it. So, you know, show love, show some support for the YouTube and follow. None of that stuff costs any money. You know, you won't regret it. We're going to keep this shit popping and rocking.
Facts, baby. Facts. Well, Ricky, I got nothing else, man. We're going to wrap this thing up. Stay tuned for part 3. We'll have Nasty up in here later on today to get his side of some things as well. So stay tuned for part 3. Part 3 breakdown so we can hear his side of things. So, but yeah, like and follow part 1. Make sure you listen to part 3, and we'll catch you guys next Sunday, and we'll do the same thing again. Cheers to 2024, baby. OTO to the moon.
Let's get it.
Let's fucking do it, baby. We'll see y'all next week.